Hello, this is Linda Keith, and I am following up on a webinar, 60-minute webinar on global cash flow of tax returns when you have multiple pass-through entities in the mix. Do you add back contributions from the owners to the business when calculating the global? See, I don't think I would, because if I'm doing global analysis, so I've got all the business and the guarantors in the picture too, then I'm not counting the contributions against the owners. But if you are using K1 instead, and you've counted contributions against them over here, I guess you do need to add them back to make sure that they wash. So mainly, I don't want this interrelated getting in the way. And so if you have counted contributions against the owners, then I guess you have to throw them back in. The add back and add words get in the way too. People talk about add back because we add back depreciation, but sometimes you're just plain old adding. So when you say, do I add back contributions from the owners to the business, it's not something that was subtracted that we add back. But if the question is, do I add contributions from the owners to the business, if I've subtracted contributions from them personally and I'm using their K1, yeah. What I would prefer, though, is you do the global analysis on the business and then you do the personal analysis on everything but the business and see what happens there. As we saw in the webinar, that does get a little bit tricky when you're having some but not all guarantee it. Because if I've got contributions in from other owners who are not guarantors, I do need to get those into the mix. So in that case, I'd add the contributions. I would subtract them from the guarantor. But then you have a different question, don't you? Are those contributions typical or not?
Well, if you're doing historical cash flow, perhaps it doesn't matter. But what if you're going for recurring cash flow?
If you're going to give the company credit for the contributions from the owners, do they do it every year? Is it the same amount? Was it for something real specific, like buying some equipment or paying down debt? I think you need to understand when there's big numbers that are not typical, why they happen, so you can decide what your best guess is as to whether that's going to continue or not.